All right, so you want to invest in real estate in 2023? Here are three options to get you started.
All right, the first option is to buy your own home. This might seem a little bit different than what you might hear of other places, but buying your own home is you investing in real estate. There are different ways that you can do this. You can purchase a single family home or a multifamily, which is a duplex, a triplex, or a quadplex. Those are like 2 units, 3 units, or 4 units.
Right. And so when you purchase your own home, we'll just say single family residence, this is you not paying somebody else's mortgage.
Yeah.
So at least you're investing in yourself, even if you are not necessarily raking in the money for that month in, month out. Over the long term, the home can gain appreciation and then therefore
It's an investment. You're making money because typically, especially here in California, the overall trend is that values continue to go up. We have our seasonal dips, there's shifts in market. Of course, all of that will happen. But if you hold on to it and then you maybe sell down the road, then that's where you make your money.
Right. But also, just owning a home gives you so many options. So you could live in the home for a specific amount of time
Mm-hmm.
and then rent it out and then go buy another home, slowly building up your portfolio.
Yeah.
Or, like what you mentioned earlier, you can get a duplex, a triplex, fourplex, where you're living in one unit, renting out the other units, which then could either cover your portion of the mortgage
Mm-hmm.
and or bringing you cash flow.
Yeah. So that's something that we call house hacking, or other people call house hacking, where you are living in one of those spaces. So if it's a single family room, let's say you're living in the master and renting out the two other rooms to subsidize that mortgage or even fully cover, or like Nicole said, bring you cash flow. Same thing with a multifamily. You're living in one of those units and renting out the others to have those rentals cover the mortgage or potentially make you a cash flow.
Absolutely. So buying
So
your own home, that
yeah. Option
what
number one, how do you make money from that? Capital appreciation, building equity, or house hacking.
option two, purchase a rental.
Purchase a rental. There's two kinds of ways that you can look at a rental from a long-term perspective, which is having a tenant who's there for probably on like a year lease, or short-term rental, which would be maybe putting it on Airbnb or doing month-long stays for traveling nurses, for example. Within option number two of purchasing a rental, those are two ways to do it.
Right.
Within that also, you can decide if you want to be the landlord or you want to be the property manager. I always tell friends who are thinking about investing, you're not in the business of being a landlord, you're in the business of being an investor, because I don't think you really want to be waking up 3 o'clock in the morning like the water's not running or the toilet's not flushing. Like, if you have a property manager, they're worth their weight in gold. You pay a percentage of the rent each month, and then they take care of all those things, and you get a nice little check in your bank account every month.
Yeah. Another thing too is you might not want the renter to know who you are. So having that buffer where you have a property management company who is then doing that.
It helps protect your investment a little bit. Option two is purchasing a rental. And how do you make money from that? Is again, capital appreciation, the rents that are coming in, and you're also building equity on that property.
Absolutely. All right. Option number three is house flipping.
Yes.
This has gotten so popular over the last couple of years, I feel like, because of social media, but also we were in, yeah, HGTV. We were also in a market where houses were moving quick. Like the interest rates were super low. There was an abundance amount of buyers. And then all of a sudden, we saw where the market kind of had a shift and what was happening with those flippers. So we want to walk you through house flipping and how, yes, it is the quickest way to make money, but it also has the highest amount of risks.
Yes. Yeah. So this is your get rich quick, scheme, but it comes with the most amount of risk if you don't know what you're doing.
Absolutely.
So what exactly is house flipping? You buy a home either under market value or that needs a little bit of work. You have a budget to rehab that property, bring it up to code and make it look nice, something that somebody would want to live in, turnkey, and then you sell that for,
profit.
A profit at market value. So you take what you paid for it minus the expenses, and then there you have your profit.
Right.
So if you do things appropriately and you get, good products at a good price and you have a good team in place to kind of do all of this rehab, you can make a significant amount of profit. But on the flip side of that, maybe you run into some plumbing issues that you didn't budget for, or construction takes a little bit longer because we just had a 3 week stint of rain in Sacramento and that you weren't planning for.
Or maybe the storm damaged your brand new house that was ready to
Yes.
put on the market, and now you're having to go and do repairs again that you did
Additional repairs.
not anticipate.
Yeah, so that could throw off your budget. So always have a buffer in your budget for that kind of stuff, because at the time that you're doing all these changes, you own the house. You are responsible for the mortgage until you sell that house. And so, in a shifting market like we're in now, that house might sit for a little bit and not move as quickly as you anticipated it to when you bought it 6 months ago prior to the rehab. And so, you need to make sure you have a buffer to pay that mortgage. And we've even seen this with a lot of investors that we work with, that some of those houses that they flipped, they're having to put into the rental market so that somebody covers them, because they're not going to meet their bottom line just because of the shift we've had in prices.
Yeah, and I feel like this is important to talk about because social media is a highlight reel. And a lot of people who have not been in the real estate industry for any extended time are willing to sell you courses on how to get rich using real estate.
Yeah.
But I don't want to say one way or another other than do your research, know what you're walking into, do a gut check, and do you have an abundance of reserves so you can pay for your lifestyle and this house flipping?
Yeah.
And a lot of times they'll say, "Oh, not your money, this." Please just use this with caution.
Yeah. It's a great opportunity to be able to make money. But like we said, it just comes with the most amount of risk. Just be aware. If you have questions, if you're taking courses, if your neighbor Joe Schmo has done it and you think you can get into it, but you have questions, like, we are definitely a resource to help you understand all of those steps. Some of it we help you with, some of it you have to do on your own, and it's just out of the scope of what we're able to do. But it is definitely a great investment tool.
Yeah, and it's a great option done right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So final option number 3 is flipping houses. How do you make money on that? On the sale of the house after you buy and do the rehab minus those expenses, your profit. It's how you're making money. So we hope this video was helpful in understanding kind of 3 investment routes.
Options?
Yeah, options, routes, whatever you want to call them, that you can take to start investing in real estate.
Yeah, so comment below what your real estate goals are. We would love to hear you. If you have any tips, tricks, maybe something you want us to expand on, we would love to hear from you.